Okay, yes, let's start. Let's start our last session for ACI 3, which is applied meditation. And thank you for joining me over these few days. The last two classes, starting from class 8, we focus on Lamrim. We focus on the...
Sorry, teacher, you no need to do prayers.
No, after this. Yeah. So so we do Lamrim 8, 9, 10. Class 8, 9, 10, we talk about Lamrim. And we are using the text called The Source of All My Good. And we are introducing this as our objects of meditation. Okay. So now is the prayer time. And Chong, you want to help with the prayer?
Yeah, I'm not well versed at this.
Oh, just read. You want to try? Just read?
I cannot pronounce.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Guapi, want to try reading the prayer?
Okay, teacher. I cannot see the...
You cannot see?
Yeah.
The one on the left.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sashi Puki Choksim Mento Tram Vilap Limshi Nyin Pati Sangin Singtu Mikte Upachi Troku Namdak Singlang Juparso Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. Sangye Chudak Toksim Choknam Jamchuk Batu Dakni Chapsuchi Daki Kimpe Shunamshi Rola Penchi Sanye Dupaso.
Two more times.
Sangye Chudak Toksi Choknamla Jamchuk Batu Dakni Chapsuchi Daki Kimpe Shunamshi
Dola Penchi Sangye
Sangye Dupaso. Sangye Chukdap Toksi Chokna Jamchuk Batu Dakni Kapsu Chapsuchi Daki
Junyen Gipe Sunam
Penchunamji Rolak Penchi Sangye Dupaso.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Yay, Ivo can switch to English already. Okay. Yeah, I would like to thank Ivo and Emilia. So when there is a request to teach SCI in English, I shared with them, and when Emil and Ivo heard about this, they say, Emil said she wants to translate for Indonesia. Ivo said she wants to translate for Vietnamese. I said, okay, good. So besides translating, you also need to get people to come. They say, yes, okay, then that's how it all started, with at least additional 2 languages. Thank you very much. Now, so this is the rear view. So instead of preview, it's a rear view. So we look back at what we have done. So we learn about why we meditate. Why do we meditate? Why do we meditate? So we learn about the objectives of meditation. And there are 13 benefits. There are 13 benefits. And then, of course, we talk about the ultimate purpose of meditation, so that we can get into direct perception of emptiness. And therefore, our definition of meditation, or our definition of a good meditation, should be something that will bring us closer to be able to have direct perception of emptiness. Therefore, things which are not helping us in the progress is not considered a good meditation. Yeah, I hope you agree. Yeah. And then we learn about 5 parts of successful practice. Yeah. What are they? Preparation. I think we have it in the, do we have it in the Telegram? I forgot. Preparation, and the 5th is object, right? Object, and then we learn some of the supporting knowledge, like the 5 problems and 8 antidotes plus the 9 stages. And then we have the second one is the preparation, and then we have the preliminary. And then what is number 3? I also forget. Let's do a quick review. Let's do a quick review. Anybody remember? Yeah. The teacher also forget. How can the student remember, correct? Yeah. It slipped my mind. I forgot. Let me take a picture and send to the group. Okay, this is the one. We send to the, let me send to the group. Here it is. Oh, somebody say something. Or clean the space. Yeah. No, we are actually reviewing all the 5. Yeah. So yeah, prepare, and then we have the 6 preliminaries, and then the posture, and then we do all the necessary, and finally choose the correct object to reach our success. Okay. All right. Let's continue with the review. Here. Okay. And then preparation before and inside. Yeah, we also covered that. And then we learn meditation techniques. Sorry, this preparation includes the setting up of the place, right? And then the techniques, and then what is and is not meditation. And then we talk about the importance of the 10 virtues, the vows. And then we cover the 5 problems and 8 antidotes. And then we discuss about the 9 stages of your meditation. And finally, the meditation object, which is Lamrim. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's proceed. So let's review a bit. So in the Lamrim, there are 4 parts. There are 4 parts, right? The first part is how to take a teacher. And we learn about developing faith in them, how to think about them, how to act towards them, and recalling their kindness. So we say that the teacher are the cure for our worst disease, which has infected us for all time. Yeah, worst disease, basically coming back, going circle and circle in the wheel of life, in the wheel of suffering. So this is the worst disease. We call it a worst disease. And yes, we have Buddhas, we have Dharma, but only through teachers then we can get all this teaching, right? Yeah, and then the second part of Lamrim is to practice and to purify the mind. Yeah, so now let's continue with teacher, topics of teacher. How to think about them. And we use the metaphors of the boat. So it's like a boat going from this side to the next, to the other side. In fact, this is the meaning of the paramita, right? Paramita, right? Going across to the other side. So we want to go across, and in order to go across, we need the boat. So this is the metaphor of a teacher, and sometimes it also, sometimes we also use the boat as the metaphor of the Dharma. So it's like a waterfall, it's like a cure, it's a hidden treasure, it's a lamp. Yeah, so this picture is very beautiful, right? Yeah, all right. How to practice and purify the mind. So this is the second part of the Lamrim. Oops. How to practice and purify the mind. Three broad motivations. Basically the small scope, the medium scope, and the bigger scope. So, of course, the first one, the first scope, the lower scope is motivation to stop suffering, motivation to get a better rebirth, So the tools that we use covered in the Lamrim basically is death and impermanence, karma, and the 8 freedoms and 10 fortunes. Yeah. Some of you who have attended ACI 1, you will find that this is very, very similar, the content. The reason is because ACI 1, which is the 3 principles path, is 3 principle paths is actually a micro Lamrim. It's also a micro Lamrim. Okay. Yeah. It's also a micro Lamrim. So it's so you can find that you feel that it is very similar. Okay. Okay, let me put the other Amelia into the interpretation. Amelia. So you will find that they are very similar because that is also Lamrim. Okay. So this is the source of all our good. So let's read together. Let's read together a little bit. Yeah. Today we are going to focus a lot on this text. Okay, we are going to read the first few verses. Okay, let's read together. The first one I will read, and then I will invite some of you to follow me to read for us. Source of all my good. The source of all my good is my kind Lama, my Lord. Bless me first to see that taking myself to him or her in the proper way is the very root of the path, and grant me then to serve and follow them with all my strength and reference. Ivo, you want to continue?
Sorry.
You want to? Yeah.
I will read on this.
Yes, please.
Okay. From the beginning, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Sources of all my good. Bless me first to realize that the excellent life or pleasure I have found, just this one is ever so hard to find and ever so valuable. Grant me then to wish and never stop to wish that I could take its essence night and day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And John, you want to help?
Source of all my good, my body and the life in it are fleeting as the bubbles in the sea throat of a wave. Bless me first task to recall the depth that will destroy me soon, and help me find sure knowledge that after I have died, the things I've done, the white or black, and what these deeds will bring to me, follow always close behind, as certain as my shadow.
Thank you. All right, so thank you. So the second part is how to purify our mind. So basically, Tsongkhapa is telling us to get the most meaning out of this life. Why did he say so? Because this life is so precious, and it is in the ancient literature, they always like to say that because of our very, very good luck that we are born in this human form. Yeah. And it is so difficult to obtain. And we have to really treasure this opportunity. We always say that this body is so important that we need to take care. Because only through this body, then we have the opportunity to get into enlightenment. So we have to take care of this body. Yeah, it's very, very important. So while we still have this body, while we are still alive, we need to really make the most meaning, get the most meaning out of this life by learning and by practicing and by progressing. Yeah, so very important. So we need to learn how to get the most out of this life. How to do it? This is why Geshe Michael helped us to prepare all the ACI courses, all the DCI courses, and then he is always doing his non-stop doing the translation through the Mixed Nuts program, because we really want to learn, we really want to know, we really want to spread and get everyone to practice together. Okay, so I'm really grateful to see so many people coming to learn together. So this is really something very important. We shouldn't waste our time. We shouldn't waste this opportunity with this human body. Okay, so let's talk about the three motivations again. So we have steps shared with lesser capacity. Everybody will have to start from here. You cannot jump. Yes, you can go directly to the highest one, but you need the bottom two as your base, as your foundation. And it doesn't mean that after you learn the top one, you can forget about the bottom. So the basic is still very important. So shared with lesser capacity means we want to have improved future rebirth. We want to have improved future rebirth. We want to be reborn in better lives. Yeah, so this is the lesser capacity. Medium capacity means don't want to have future rebirth. We want to get out of the wheel of suffering. And finally, the greater capacity, the great capacity is the motivated by love and compassion. Compassion means nobody suffers, not only us, but all beings, all of us, nobody will have to suffer. So this is basically what we call the Bodhisattva path. Right? But even if you are in the bodhisattva path, you still need to have understanding of the lesser and medium capacity. Why? Why do we still have to know the lower two? I mentioned this as the foundation, and also to help those who are still in the lesser and medium capacity. Okay, so that is the reason. So to stop the desire for improved future birth, the first one is we do the death meditation. Only 3 principles. It's easy. I'm sorry, I wouldn't say easy. It's a straightforward. It's straightforward. Death is certain. Death is certain. Nobody can escape death. And in the ancient literature, in the Wheel of Life literature, death is represented by the demon on top of the wheel, right? We say that the demon is going, creeping, closer to our heart, and one day rip our heart off, which means that it is death. And there is no certainty about when you will die. We don't know when we will die. It doesn't mean that older people will die first, younger people will die later. Yeah, we see there are so many young people who die. And we see there are so many old people who have long lives. So we don't know when. And because this body is so important, we shouldn't stop our life earlier. Therefore, committing suicide is very, very bad karma. Very bad karma, yeah. Whatever motivation you have, committing suicide is very bad karma. Never have the wrong idea that you want to reset your life. I think this is affecting in the past the Japanese youth, you know. They play, not just Japanese, actually it's everywhere. They play video games. You know, when you play video games, sometimes when you play video games, if you lose 3 times, game over, and then you can restart again. So some young people who don't know, they don't like their life, they thought, okay, let me commit suicide and restart my life. There is no such thing. Yeah, you reset your life, but at the bottom, most wrong, with most suffering, with worse condition. So never do that. And finally, when we die, only Dharma can help us. Only our seeds can help us. If we have good seeds, our next rebirth will be better. If we don't have good seeds, then yeah, that's bad. Yeah, so we can do reflection on this one. Of course, when we really do the reflection, we can go deeper. There are 3 parts of each. There are three parts of it. So from 3 become 9. Yeah, we will go deeper there if we have to. And then the second method to have a better rebirth is 4 laws of karma. I think we have covered this a lot. And DCI, we also mentioned this a lot. And then in our previous ACI 1, ACI 2, we also covered this. So this is always a recurring topic. So I really hope that all of you really memorize and live this. 4 laws of karma. The first one is we say seeds produce fruits. Watermelon seeds will produce watermelon fruit. Yeah. So actions is certain to produce consequences that resemble the content. Yeah. Good actions produce good results. Bad actions produce bad results. So this is certain. And then the second law is the consequences are greater than the actions. Growth is exponential. So we say seeds are small, fruits are big. Yeah. So this is the second law. And the third law, if we don't do, we will not have anything. If you will not have any consequence if you do not commit any action. If you don't do anything, you will not get anything. If you don't do good, you will not. If you don't have the seeds, you will not have any good results. If you don't do bad things, you will not get bad results. Yeah. So the third law means you have to do something so that you can get result. So this is more on the positive things. The fourth law is that once you do something bad, or once you do something, the result will always be there. So this is mostly on the negative things. If you commit negative actions, you will always get the negative results. Yeah. So these four laws of karma are very important. It's so important that Geshe Michael also used the metaphor of the third eye. If you understand the four laws of karma, it is as if you have a third eye. You can sometimes, Geshe-la said that if you know the four laws of karma, you can know the past, you can know the future. You can see the past, you can also know the future. Yeah. So these four laws of karma is so important. And of course, all this you can just use your logical thinking to understand why people have challenges in this life. And then you will also be able to tell how, what kind of life will be people will having based on what they are doing now. And then, yeah, the third part, the third method is to do to ponder on the 8 leisures and 10 leisure and 10 leisure and I forgot the term leisure and well, I don't know. Let's continue. Leisure and what I forgot. So, okay, the 8 leisures are divided into 2 parts. Okay, the first part is about our rebirth. Yeah, our rebirth, right? So we are not born in the hell realm now. We are not born in the craving spirit realm as a craving spirit. We are not born as an animal. And we are also not born as a pleasure being. The first 3 are what we call the lower realm. And because lower realms are intense suffering, especially the hell realm, you don't have any chance to practice. Yeah. You don't have chance to practice, to collect good seeds. So it is a very difficult realm. It is very difficult realms. And of course, you are not in the pleasure being, because pleasure being is a good realm in a sense, but it's all pleasure and you don't have a chance to collect the good seeds, to do good things. In fact, you are using up, you are consuming all your good seeds. Yeah, leisures and fortunes. Thank you. I forgot the term. So 8 leisures and 10 fortunes, right? Yeah, okay. I know somebody will fit me this word. So the first part is we are not in all those realms. And then the second 4 is not born in uncivilized place. Uncivilized place means there are people who still keep their vows. Okay. When you see this, right, how do you make your place civilized? So yes, we are living in the place which is not uncivilized. So how do you make your environment civilized? How do you make your environment civilized? Anybody has any idea? we start first by keeping our vows. We keep our vows, either do the 3 times book or do the Tunduk, the 6 times book. See? Some of you who know me from DCI, you know that I'm a very strong advocate for people to do the 3 times book, at least. Because I want to create a civilized environment around me. So if everybody's keeping the book, at least, I'm still living in a civilized environment. Yeah. So if you are living in the place where people don't keep vows, then that is uncivilized. All right. Number 6 is not born with serious wrong worldview. We are so lucky that we walk into the system. We have developed faith in KNE, karma and emptiness. Karma and emptiness. We have heard the pen story. We understand the pen story. In fact, we keep on learning. You know, like this, currently we are doing DCI level 5, and then listening to all the live tools presentation. Basically, those are various ways of using the karma and emptiness. Geshe Michael spent a lot of time to do the translation, understand the ancient literature, and adapting them into modern world through the live tools. So yeah, we are so lucky. We still have a wrong, we still live in a correct worldview. I mean, we still have the chance to learn the correct worldview. We don't fall into the place with the serious wrong worldview. Yeah. So yeah, we are still lucky. We still have the fortune. Number 7 is not born with impediment to learning. We are still physically and mentally capable of understanding. Yes, there are people who have issues with mental, some of them also physically. And those people with all those challenges, they will have difficulty in understanding the learning, the Dharma. So yeah, we have all these fortunes. So we need to reflect on this. And finally, the last leisure is that we are not born in an era where no Buddha taught. So we are so lucky, 2,500 years ago, Buddha Gautama came to this planet to teach the Dharma. Yeah. We always say that there are many, many Buddhas around in all the planets, universe, realms. Not realms, I would say planets, universe. There are many Buddhas. And because of the serious problems with all the beings, in fact, I should say that there are many, many planets, there are many worlds, there are many universes. And not all planets have Buddha who visited them and teaching them alive. So we are so lucky that we are living in this earth, and yeah, we had a Buddha who came and gave his teaching. Next, we are doing our 10 fortunes. 10 fortunes also divided into 2 parts. The first part is mostly on us, internal, and then the second part is external. So our first fortune is we are born as a human. Sometimes we say this human body is our temple. So we need to take care of the temple. We shouldn't do things that will destroy this temple. Therefore, we need to eat properly. We need to exercise our body. Yeah, Chloe, we need to eat properly to give enough nutrients. So this temple is very important. You clean your temple, you take care of the temple, okay? And then second fortune is we live in the central land, meaning that this place, there are still, the vows of morality are still followed in this place, central land. So you see, it's very important to keep your vows and write the book. Yeah. Third fortune is we have all our important faculties intact, those that allow us to study and practice Dharma. Imagine you don't have limbs. How do you do prostration? Also very difficult, right? Yeah. So yeah, we have everything complete. So we are so lucky. We have never committed one of the ultimate bad karmas, meaning the 5 immediate misdeeds. So these are the five worst bad karma that we can do. Why we call them immediate? Because you go down immediately to the deepest hell, and that is immediate. Yeah. So you will not go through Pardo anymore. You will not go to the intermediate realm. Normally, after a being dies, they will go through intermediate realm before they move on to the next realm. So intermediate misdeed means they will not go through this Pardo, they will go directly. Yeah. Yeah, ultimate immediate misdeed. Which other beings will also not have Pardo? So we said that most beings will have to go through Pardo before the next one. And then we say that, yeah, 5 immediate misdeeds, beings, humans who commit the 5 immediate misdeeds will not go through Pardo. What other beings will not go through Pardo? Anybody knows? Anybody wants to guess? So which beings will not go through Pardo? No, nobody wants to try. Or when you go to which realm, you will not go through Pardo. It's the formless realm. Formless realm. Yeah? So if you are heading to formless realm, you will not go through Pardo. All right? Pardo. The second set of 10 fortunes relates to external. So we live in the world where Buddha has come. 2,500 years ago, we live in the world where Buddha has taught Dharma. Yeah. And then we live in the world where the teachings still remain. Yeah. We can still find the teaching in the form of people having realizations, such as seeing emptiness directly. So we have Aryas. We have Aryas who have achieved that. Arya Nagarjuna. We have Arya Asanga. Yeah. We have a lot of Aryas along the way. We live in the world where people are still actively following the teachings. So we still, that's why the worldview organizations are very important, starting from preserving an Asian Legacy Library led by J.B. La. That is very important, preserving. That's the reason why Geshe-la started this project, input project, more than 35 years ago, to preserve the teaching. And then from the teaching, from the LL, he established the ACI, and of course the translation, mixed nuts, and then the ACI teaching. And the reason why he established DCI teaching is to reach even more people. You see, ACI teaching, we have not many people. But when we talk about DCI, there are many more people who attend. In fact, now we go online every year. Every year we have about 20,000 people worldwide learning DCI. So we want to, the motivation is so that people can learn and can practice and can get out of this suffering. And finally, live in a world where people have compassion for others. Basically, it just means that there are still people supporting the Dharma, the practitioners, and the practice. So here we have a lot of people who are actively contributing to ALL, contributing to ACI, big and small, big and small. People who contribute using their money, people who contribute using their skills and talents, like organizing sessions, doing translations, doing recordings. So we this is our fortunes, our fortune. All right. And in fact, there is, if you look at the activities, there are a lot of activities in the Worldview organizations. There are a lot of events. In fact, now as I'm speaking, today's Saturday, right? I think at the same time now is happening is the ACI 4 teachers training. ACI 4 teachers training. I didn't really offer to our community because the requirement is that you must have attended ACI 4 before. So hopefully after we catch up, we can all join the next teachers training, which is ACI 5. For our group, ACI 5 will happen in May. In May. So let's learn together. Let's progress together. So that all of us can take part in the teachers training, and then we all can become ACI teachers. Yay. Okay, let's continue. So, Pei-Ling, you want to help with reading the next verse?
Grant me then, ever to be careful, to stop the slightest wrongs of many wrongs we do, and try to carry out instead each and every good of the many that we may.
Thank you. Kopi, you want to, oops. Okay, Kopi, you want to help? You are muted.
Bless me to perceive all that's wrong with the seemingly good things of this life. I can never get enough of them. They cannot be trusted. They are the door to every pain I have. Grant me then to strive instead for the happiness of freedom.
Thank you. Okay, we still have time. Let's do a short review meditation on the 8 leisures and 10 fortunes. Okay. Let's do a short meditation. It will be short before we go for our break. Okay. Okay. Get into your meditation posture. You can cross your leg if you are sitting on cushion, or you can sit on the chair and try not to lean back. Put your hands on your laps and you can slowly close your eyes. Relax your feet and your toes. Relax your hands and your fingers. Tuck in your tummy slightly so you can sit taller. Pull back both shoulders and drop them down. And then adjust the height of your chin. Not too high, not too low. Relax your cheek, your scalp, and your forehead. And finally, relax your eyes. Put a bit of smile on your lips. Touch the tip of your tongue to the back of your upper teeth. Bring your attention to the tip of your nose and start observing your breathing. Observe the exhale and the inhale, the outflow and the inflow. Check to see if your left and right nostrils have even flows of the air. Or perhaps one side is stuck and the air can only flow from the other side. Check to see the speed of your breathing. Is it fast or is it slow and steady? Feel the temperature of the breath. It is warm when you exhale and slightly cool when you inhale. Next, we want to do a review of the 8 leisures. So the first set of 4 is that we are not born in the hell realm. We are not born as a craving spirit. And we are not born as an animal. And we are not born as a pleasure being. Instead, we are born as a human, intact. The second set of the 8 leisures is that we are not born uncivilized, meaning that we still have the chance, we have learned the vows and have the chance to keep the vows. We are not born with serious wrong worldviews, meaning that we have the chance to learn, to listen and learn about a pen story, about the seed system. And we are not born with challenges to learning, meaning that we still have intelligence to learn about the Dharma. And we are smart enough to understand what is being taught. And I would say we are we have the leisure to walk into ACI teachings and DCI teachings, and also YSI teachings. And final leisure is that we are not born in an era where no Buddha has taught. Now we move on to the 10 fortunes. The first 5 related internally to us is that we have been born as a human with a human body. And then we live in the central land where the vows of morality are still followed. There are still people following the vows and writing the book. That is that we have all our important faculties intact. We have enough equipment to study and practice Dharma. We have our senses complete. Eyes to read, ear to listen, etc. And also enough intelligence to study and to understand. We have never committed one of the immediate misdeeds, 5 misdeeds. So that we still have the fortune to walk into the system. And finally, the teaching are still respected. Are still respected. It means that we still respect the teaching. We still doing our best to learn. We still have the motivation to learn. We still have the motivation and the time to learn and to practice. The second set of 10 leisures, 10 fortunes, is that we live in a world where a Buddha has come. We live in a world where a Buddha has taught. We live in a world where the teachings still remain. We are fortunate to have ALL preserving all these ancient teachings. And also, we see people with realizations who have seen emptiness directly. And we live in a world where people are still actively following the teachings of Dharma. And finally, we live in a world where people have compassion for others. And we see people supporting the Dharma, people contributing to LL and ACI, and coming to DCI teachings. So that is our contemplation review of the 8 leisures and 10 fortunes. Now, to end our meditation, bring your attention back to the tip of your nose. And let's do a 3 long and slow exhale. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Okay, so that is class 9. Any questions? If not, then let's have a 5 minutes break before we continue with class 10. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, let's continue with class 10. And interestingly, my wife, teacher Cynthia, just told me, doing a contemplation and a review of the 8 leisures and 10 fortunes, basically all the problems that we are facing becomes, all the problems become meaningless, not important anymore. So yeah, I think this is a good practice if we can review them regularly. Okay, let's continue with class 10. So just now we talked about the practice of the smaller scope, having better rebirth. In class 10, we talk about the motivation for the medium scope, which is developing the motivation of freedom or nirvana. Oh, we are going to talk about both actually, the medium and the greater scope. So again, this is the rear view, the lamrim, and also the meditation chart, right? So brief review, the lamrim so far. So the first part that we covered in class 8 is how to take a teacher, developing faith in them in 10 parts, and then how to think about them and how to act towards them, and of course recalling their kindness. And then we started today class 9, just now how to practice and purify the mind, taking the essence of this life. So we covered the first motivation, which is for the smaller scope, the desire to be free of suffering, mainly the lower realms, right? So we reviewed a little bit on the death and impermanence through the death meditation, 3 points of death meditation. And then we reviewed the 4 laws of karma, which is covering the karma and emptiness. And then finally, we had a review of the 8 freedoms and 10 fortunes to realize and understand the precious human rebirth. Now, today, we are going to also continue with the source of all my good. So the second one, so fast. The second one is the medium scope, medium capacity. So in the medium capacity, we talk about the refuge to have freedom and the path of freedom, which is the training in 3 moralities. The sequence changed already. So Sue Wong, you want to, Sue, have you read? Not yet. Okay. Oh, okay. Sue Wong, do you want to help us read this verse?
Yes, teacher, my pleasure. The source of all my good, bless me to perceive all that's wrong with the seemingly good things of this life. I can never get enough of them. They cannot be trusted. They are the door to every pain I have. Grant me then to strive instead for the happiness of freedom.
Thank you. Next, let's invite Ivan. Ivan, are you available? Convenient to read? If not, then let's invite.
I can try, Teacher Sujay.
Okay, come on, you can read.
Grant that these pure thoughts may lead me to be watchful and to recall what I should be doing. Grant me to give the greatest care to make the vows of morality the essence of my practice. They are the root of the Buddha's teaching.
Thank you, Carmen. Okay, Crystal, are you available to read? Okay, Chloe, are you available to read? No, okay, Chloe, are you?
Yes.
Okay,
I can read.
yes, please.
I have slipped and fallen into the sea of this suffering life. Bless me to see that every living being, everyone, my own mother, has fallen in too. Grant me then to practice this highest wish for enlightenment, to take on myself the task of freeing them all.
Thank you. Anybody who has not read and you want to read? Tommy, are you available to read?
Bless me to see clearly that the wish itself is not enough. For if I'm not well trained in the three morality, I cannot become Buddha. Grant me then a fierce resolve to master the vows for children of the victors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
T, are you available?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, please.
Grant that I may quickly gain the path where quietude and insight join together, one which quiets my mind from being distracted to wrong objects, the other which analyzes the perfect meaning in the correct way. Thank you.
Thank you. So these are the three. I forgot to call our Vietnamese friends. Sorry. Okay. So these are the three frameworks, motivational frameworks and how we can purify our mind. And basically, three scopes: the lesser capacity, medium capacity, and the great capacity. All right, so we have just covered the medium capacity. Now let's go into the steps shared with great capacity, which are motivated by love and compassion, which means that we don't want any beings to suffer. Yeah, Kyebu Chenpoy. Okay. So this is again the overview of the three scopes. So the first level, the lower scope, medium, small scope, basically we want to be free from suffering rebirth, especially the three lower realms. And the practices are basically the 8 freedoms and 10 fortunes, the death and impermanence, and the karma. Oh, we have not really gone into that, right? So the first one we have done. The second level is those from level 1 and also freedom from all rebirth, which is nirvana. And the way we practice is to take refuge by understanding the pen and the 4 Arya truths. And then understanding the path of freedom and training in 3 moralities, especially the first. What is that? The first is referring to the 10 virtues, right? The morality of freedom. Huh?
Enough is enough.
Yeah. So morality of freedom basically refers to the 10 virtues, And the third level, which is the bodhisattva path, is that we also want to have total enlightenment for self and others. Yeah, the bodhicitta. So we train in the wish and in the deeds. In the wish and the deeds, the 6 perfections especially. And of course, finally the secret practices. Okay. Yeah, all of you know why we are having very intensive schedule for the ACI. I hope you can read between the lines what we are doing here. Chloe is smiling already. Okay. Our teachers, our lineage is very strict. Okay, there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut. So we need to really complete all the basics, all the basic courses before we are allowed to go further. All right. Yeah, I mean, if you have not mastered the basics, what's the use of going into the advanced teaching, right? Basically, I always like to use the analogy of driving a car. If you are not used to driving a car, it's very dangerous to give you a sports car to drive, right? So you need to learn how to drive first. You need to practice your driving to such an extent that you are more or less proficient before you can drive a sports car, right? All right, now for the second scope of motivation, the medium scope, so they are basically developing the wish to achieve freedom from a suffering existence, and they learn how to gain the path to freedom. Let's go further. So a lot of theories here, okay? A lot of theories. So let's learn together. So we need to realize that inside the will, we will never be able to be free from the suffering. Yeah. So inside the will of suffering, inside the will of life, basically we are never free from suffering. The only way to be free is to get out of the will. Yeah. Bodhicitta. Yeah, total. No, bodhicitta is not enlightened. Well, bodhicitta means we want to get total enlightenment for self and others. Yeah. Yeah. Bodhicitta. All right. So what does it mean here? It means that basically we talk about the 3 kinds of suffering. The 3 kinds of suffering. Suffering, which is the outright pain. So you fall sick, and then you lose your loved one. You have body pain. So this is outright pain. You feel hungry. You have relationship issue. You don't have enough money. You have bad health. This is outright pain. The second type of suffering is suffering of change. So this is referring to all the good things. You can have a good home, you can have a good family, good job, but due to the nature of suffering of change, all the good things will also end. END, okay? All those must inevitably change and be ripped away from us. Of course, we can always replant the seeds, but it will be in a cycle. You use them, you replant, you get them, you use them, you replant, you use them, you get them, you use them. So it's cycle. It's tiring. Okay. So what should we do? Of course, this is what we are practicing. And the third kind of suffering is called suffering, the pervasive suffering. Basically, it just means that because we are still inside the will. It's pervasive, it's everywhere. We finally will lose even our own bodies. Our minds become senile, and even our names are forgotten. Since every event in our present kind of life is either suffering or inevitably degenerates into suffering. I still remember, I think that is a moment of renunciation also. I think 1999, wow. 1999, I just had my eldest son was born, and then I just I don't know. I mean, at that moment I was still young. I thought, hey, I want to contribute to the society, and then I joined the grassroots leaders as a volunteer, and to serve the community. And then, of course, in the community we call it the resident committee, and now they call it the neighborhood committee, no, resident committee. And then, of course, in the committee, we have chairman, vice chairman, and then members, executive members. And then we also have a bigger committee. It's called Citizen Consultative Committee. So many committees, the hierarchy from the grassroots all the way to the national level. And I saw people like, fighting for names, fighting for honors. All of us are volunteers. We are not paid, but people are fighting for power, fighting for title, fighting for names, fighting for a lot of things, a lot of politics. So I was asking myself, okay, this is voluntary service. No, we are not paid, but people are fighting for all those things. And of course, some people receive certain titles, certain award, and we have to address them properly. If you address them wrongly, the PBM, the BBM, if you use the wrong alphabets, they will hate you for life, kind of things, And then suddenly my chairman, who worked very hard, he works night shift, permanent night shift, and then he will go to work at 10 o'clock and then get back home at I think he started his work at midnight, I think. Until 8 o'clock in the morning, he would come home, he would sleep for 2 hours, and then he will start working again for the committee, daytime work for the committee, visiting residents, handling disputes, mobilizing people to do events, projects. Very busy. And then he got the honor of receiving a National Day award, and then very, very respected. Very, very respected. Huh?
Very kind.
He's kind. He's very kind. He's very nice. Very respected. Very, and then he's pretty famous. And then one day he fell sick. And then after a while, he passed away. Yes, we had a big ceremony for him, And then all the important people came to his funeral. And after the funeral, what is left? His wife and 2 daughters. And after that, 1 week after that, life goes on. Everybody sort of forgot about him, I was looking at it, I was observing, I said, my goodness, he worked so hard, he was so busy, even ignoring the family. And then when he died, his wife had to raise the 2 daughters on her own. And the community still goes on. I don't know how much the government or all those important people supported him, but because as a volunteer, I don't think he received anything, So, wow, this is pervasive suffering. No, that's not the life I want. All right, let's continue. So I think that was a moment of renunciation for me. Oh, sorry. Of course, helping people is good, right? But at the same time, you need to develop spiritually. Another renunciation moment for me is when my father passed away. I was very close to my father. We do things together. We discuss things together. about worldly things, about spiritual things, you know. And then we discussed about taking care of our health. And after he passed away, I was every time when I do something like brushing my teeth, you know, we used to discuss the best way to brush our teeth, the best way to take care of our teeth. I was brushing my teeth. Oh, one day all this will go away also, you know. And he was so happy. He just came back from Indonesia. He had his facial done. He has all his skincare done. You know, he was so happy because he is clean without all the skin tags or whatever. And then, oh, he's gone, you know. Wow. Sometimes when I'm washing my face, yeah, all this will go away also one day. Cornelia, at that moment, I came to US very often. So when I shared this with Cornelia, she was laughing at me. Yeah, Sugeng is going through renunciation moment, which is true. Okay, now come back to here, training of morality. So the morality is the basis of the other two trainings. What are the other two trainings? Basically here, we say the deep concentration and the insight into wisdom. So morality is the basis for the deep concentration and the insight into wisdom. Deep concentration is what we are learning in this course. So the other two trainings are implied. Yeah, it means that the implication is that they rely and can only be developed once we have morality. So morality is very important, very important. Of course, we talk about the recollection and watchfulness. Remember, recollection is the drenpa, the meditation muscle, yeah, drenpa. And then watchfulness is the sheshin, the fire alarm. So using these two for our morality means, recollection means we need, well, I like to start from awareness. Awareness means you keep your mind aware and sound the alarm. If you have problem, if you don't keep your vows properly, yeah, observing the actions, the speech, and the thoughts. And then that is the session. And then the drenpa will pull them back. If those three go astray, right? Pull them back. So that is the drenpa, session and drenpa. So your session need to be always alert, okay? Hey, are you keeping to the vows? Are your actions according to the morality moral? Are your speeches moral? Are your thoughts moral? So this is the session, and then the drenpa will pull them back if they go sideways, okay? So meditation is not just done when you are sitting on the cushion, but you need to really be aware and take action. Yeah, so you realize that the meditation problems are also problems that, and the antidotes with the antidotes are things that we can do in our daily life, especially to help us with the morality. Okay, now for the greater motivations, there are two parts. Okay, there are two parts to the first part of the steps. This is the first part. These are the two parts of the first part. Sorry my language. So learning how to think like a bodhisattva, yeah, and then learning how to act like a bodhisattva. So the wish and the action, yeah, the wish and the action. Those are covered in the bodhisattva vow. Right? We talk about the wish and the action. And then the second part, so just now was the first part, right? The second part is that we understand about the bodhisattva activities which are open and activities which are not open, which are closed. Yeah, the secret teaching and the Diamond Way teaching. Do and Ngak. Do and Ngak. Yeah, these are the Tibetan for the Do means sutra. Do means sutra. Ngak means Diamond Way. Yeah, Ngak means mantra. Mantra. Yeah, sutra and mantra. Okay. Do Ngak. Sometimes we combine them to means that all teaching, sutra and mantra, open and close. Do Ngak. Do Ngak. So the first part, the Bodhisattva, the open teaching has two parts. They are basically the 6 perfections in general and the last two. Last two, what are the last two? Basically the perfection of concentration and perfection of wisdom. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there are 3 kinds of moralities. There are, when we talk about moralities, there are 3 kinds. The first one is the morality of restraining yourself from bad deeds. So the first one is to prevent us from doing bad deeds. Yeah, mainly aimed at avoiding doing any deeds that hurt others. So the first type is to prevent us from doing bad deeds. That is the first type. The second type is the types that help us to plant and collect all the good seeds. Cornelia is cool. Not only video, picture, she puts in music too, right? So the second type is the, oops, oh, the picture is gone. So the second type is the morality of collecting good deeds. Yeah. Basically collecting the merits and wisdom to reach enlightenment. So the first type is to prevent us from doing bad deeds, bad karma. And then the second type is to help us to collect the good karmas, especially on both merit and wisdom to reach enlightenment. And the third kind is basically the first two with bodhicitta. The first two with bodhicitta. The morality of benefiting beings. Yeah, benefiting beings. You read the language. Kept with nothing less than the motivation of a bodhisattva. Oh. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, thank you for the answer. Perfection of concentration and perfection of wisdom. Okay, right. So 3 kinds of morality. The first one is the morality of preventing us from doing bad deeds. And that is normally achieved through the vows, morality of freedom. Okay. Pratimoksha. Is that no? Not true. Vows of morality. And then the second type is morality of collecting the merits. Yeah, the merits. Today my mind is not really working well. I don't know why. Oh, merit and wisdom. Collection of merit and wisdom. And then the third kind is the doing all those 2 with bodhisattva, with bodhicitta. Okay. So now, basically this is coming to the end of our session. So there are 2 kinds of in general, in meditation, we want to develop 2 skills. The first one is to have quietude, which is also called shamatha. This is basically single-mindedness, which is imbued with the exceptional bliss of practiced ease due to deep single-pointed meditation on its object. So this is normally what we associate with meditation, and this is what we will achieve. This is basically the 9 stages of meditation. So the aim of that poster, that picture, that chart is to help us develop quietude. Shamatha, single-pointed meditation, single-minded meditation. The second type is, this is shamatha, or called shine in Tibetan. Shine. The second type is insight, also called vipassana, which is different from vipassana. Yeah, so vipassana. In fact, Sanskrit is vipassana, and then the other kind of meditation is vipassana. They are very different, right? And in Tibetan, it's called hlaktong. Okay. So insight or vipassana means wisdom, which is full of exceptional bliss of practice ease by power of the analysis of its object, and which is founded upon quietude. So only after you have the shamatha, the shine, then you can do this vipassana properly, right? And during this vipassana, we do the analysis of its objects, right? That's all. This is ACI 3 class 10. I think we are at the end already. I see. Okay, now before let's take picture. Okay, let's take picture. This is always, I always forget. Let's take picture. Let's take picture first, and after that we will do Q&A, do the closing prayer, and do meditation. Okay, ready, everyone? Wow. Okay, Ivan, not convenient, right? Oh, I see Chloe also. And who are the other two? I don't know. Oh, our Vietnamese friend. Ready? 1, 2, 3, yay. Okay, let me have a good look. Everyone looks nice. Okay. Okay, any question?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
What's the training for the wish?
Oh, training for the wish. Okay, this is basically part of the, this is part of the Bodhisattva vows. And in Bodhisattva vows, we have the wish and the action. The wish and the action. So wish means you just, we call it in the form of prayer. Prayer. So I want to become Bodhisattva. I want to have bodhicitta. I want, so basically it's just a wish, right? And then you upgrade into the action. Action means you observe the vows. And of course, when we observe, we want to use the book to track our observation. Okay. So yeah, wish and action, they are together. All right. Okay. Why are there meditation which needs initiation? Well, when we talk about initiation, normally it refers to the secret teaching. Okay, secret teaching. Why do we do initiation for secret teaching? Is because we want to have a proper what do you call it? Proper gauge for people to come in. Because when we say it's a closed teaching, it means that it is not open for public. And the reason why it is not open, although it is such a good teaching, is that, you know, like again, the car example, if you don't have enough foundation, if you don't know how to drive cars properly, even in a normal road, if you don't know how to drive car properly, even using a normal car, you know, it is, if I were to give you a sports car, that will become a killing machine. not only will you hurt yourself, but you will also hurt others. Yeah, so the same thing with the secret teaching. It is like a sports car. So before you are allowed to handle a sports car, you need to be able to drive a normal car. Or we can use a knife, for example, when you are still young, when you are still a children, no adult will allow you to use knife because you may injure yourself, you may injure others. Only when you have enough, when you big enough, when you can understand how to use knife properly, then we will let you use your knife. And in order to know that you know how to use a knife, or in the term of car, in order for people to know that you can drive a car, then there will be exam, there will be initiation. Okay, now Chloe, you are such an expert driver. You are qualified to drive a Ferrari, for example. Otherwise, then you should still stick with your Honda, Toyota, Kia, whatever. So yeah, the same thing, the secret teaching, we need have initiation. And this initiation is basically a way for the teacher to say, okay, now you're qualified to drive Ferrari. And in all these teachings, they are always accompanied with meditations. And for you to do those meditations related to the close teaching, of course, you need initiation. All right? Cool. Okay, and if no more questions, let's do the closing prayer before we move on to our meditation. For closing, let me invite Carmen. You want to read? Have you read before?
I don't think I've read this before.
Do you want to try?
It looks like it's Tibetan.
They are Tibetan.
Ah, that might be a bit hard.
Okay. I mean, if you want to try, you can try. If not, I will appoint somebody else.
Yeah, I might not be able to get the pronunciation correct, teacher.
Okay, no worry. Okay, then how about Crystal?
Sashi Pugi Jushin Meto Tram Rira Lingshi Inde Gempadi Shange Shindu Mite Uwagi Drokum Namda Shingla Chupasho Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niyatayami Gewa Di Gewo Kun Sunan Yeshe Sojong Shing Sunan Yeshe Lejung We Dampa Kuni Topa Sho.
Thank you. Okay, now I would like to let's do meditation, review meditation on, let's do meditation by focusing on the source of all my good. Okay. And what I did before with my wife is that we will read together. But today, I just want you to close your eyes and listen. I will read and I want you to feel it. Okay. And of course, if you want to, you can record them using your own voice. And then when you want to do this meditation, you play back. Okay, that's one way also. But for now, let's just get into our meditation posture. And then I will read slowly for you to visualize and feel it. Okay, cool. Okay, let's get into meditation posture. Let's sit quietly for a while. by observing our breathing first. Relaxing our body. Focusing back on that breathing. You can check if your breathing is slowing down. The Source of All My Good, written by J. Tsongkhapa at the foot of a statue of Lord Atisha at Radrang Monastery in 1402. Verse 1. The source of all my good is my kind Lama, my Lord. Bless me first to see that taking myself to him in the proper way is the very root of the path, and grant me then to serve and follow him with all my strength and reverence. Verse 2. Bless me first to realize that the excellent life of leisure I found just this once is ever so hard to find and ever so valuable. Grant me then to wish and never stop to wish that I could take its essence night and day. Verse 3 and 4. My body and the life in it are fleeting as the bubbles in the sea froth of a wave. Bless me first thus to recall the death that will destroy me soon, and help me find sure knowledge that after I've died, the things I've done, the white or black, and what these deeds will bring to me, follow always close behind, as certain as my shadow. Grant me then ever to be careful, to stop the slightest wrongs of many wrongs we do, and try to carry out instead each and every good of the many that we may. Verse number 5. Bless me to perceive all that's wrong with the seemingly good things of this life. I can never get enough of them. They cannot be trusted. They are the door to every pain I have. Grant me then to strive instead for the happiness of freedom. Verse 6. Grant that these pure thoughts may lead me to be watchful and to recall what I should be doing. Grant me to give the greatest care to make the vows of morality the essence of my practice. They are the root of the Buddha's teaching. Verse 7, I have slipped and fallen into the sea of this suffering life. Bless me to see that every living being, everyone my own mother, has fallen into. Grant me then to practice this highest wish for enlightenment, to take on myself the task of freeing them all. Verse 8, bless me to see clearly that the wish itself is not enough. For if I'm not well trained in the three moralities, I cannot become a Buddha. Grant me then a fierce resolve to master the vows for children of the victors. Grant that I, verse number 9, grant that I may quickly gain the path where quietude and insight join together, one which quiets my mind from being distracted to wrong objects, the other which analyzes the perfect meaning in the correct way. Verse 10, grant that once I've practiced well, the path shed and become a vessel that is worthy, I enter with perfect ease the way of the diamond, highest of all ways, holiest door to come inside for the fortunate and the good. Verse 11, bless me to know with genuine certainty that when I've entered thus, the cause that gives me both the attainments is keeping my pledges and vows most pure. Grant me then to always keep them, even if it costs my life. Verse 12, bless me next to realize precisely the crucial points of both the stages, the essence of the great secret ways. Grant me then to practice as the Holy One has spoken, putting all my effort in and never leaving off the practice of the 4 times, highest that there is. Verse 13, bless me, grant me that the spiritual guide who shows me this good road and all my true companions in this quest live long and fruitful lives. Bless them and grant me that the reign of obstacles, things within me or outside me that could stop me now, stop and end forever. Verse 14, in all my lives, may I never live apart from my perfect lamas. May I bask in the glory of the Dhamma. May I fulfill perfectly every good quality of every level and path and reach them quickly. The place where I become myself the keeper of the diamond. I want you to visualize that due to your reading, contemplation, and review, accumulated in the body is a golden light filling up your whole body, giving you the warmth and all the wishes you could ever have. And through your pores comes out the golden light, making your body glowing in golden light. And then we want to shine this light, this golden light, to everyone around you in the same room and the same house. You want to give them all these gifts to them. Next, expand this golden light to cover the whole world and the whole universe. All beings touched by this golden light will receive all the gifts from you. Now bring back this light back to your heart chakra. Keep them well to accompany your activities until the next time we do the meditation. Bring your attention back to the tip of your nose. Do 3 long and slow exhale. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Since we have Carmen and Rosie, shall we have another photo taking? Come, Carmen, Rosie, IT, Tommy. Shall we have Ivan? Shall we have another photo taking? Anle and Violet Nguyen, are you available? Yeah, Ivan, yeah, Rosie, yeah, 2 more. Okay, might not be free. Okay, let me, oops. Ah, yeah. Okay, ready? Oh, hold on. Yeah, I know. There's your phone. Okay, let's get ready. 1, 2, 3, yay. Okay, let me check the picture. Everybody looks beautiful and handsome. Okay, thank you very much to translators, Emilia and Koy Nguyen, and then to recording, Anle and Xintian, and of course to Emil and Ivo, organizing Indonesia and Vietnam. And of course, tomorrow we have a special event. I don't know whether all of you know, we have a special event by Jabila and Cornelia. They are going to talk about, it is a date with ACI professors. They are going to talk about, here, right? Can you see? No? No. Hold on. Oh yeah, you can see. Kelihatan semua. Okay, you can see, right? So it's 9 p.m. Singapore, Malaysia time, which is 8 p.m. in Indonesia and Vietnam, and 5 p.m. for them. They are in California now. They are in San Diego now, so it will be 5 a.m. for them. 6 a.m. in Sedona, in Arizona. Okay. Yeah, Indonesia and Vietnam will be 8 p.m. Yeah, okay. We don't put it here, but I think you should be able to detect, right? Detect the timing. Myanmar will be 8 p.m. 6:30, right? Carmen? No, sorry, 7:30.
Singapore time is 9 o'clock,
Yes.
so it's 1.5 hours behind.
So 7:30, okay? 7:30. Make sure you come on time, Carmen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very special event. It will be for 90 minutes, okay? And very honored to have the 2 professors addressing our group are addressing the learning. Yeah, so yeah, that's about all. Any other questions for ACI 3 or ACI in general? No? Okay, if not, then thank you very much. Have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend. One more day. Today's Saturday night, so one more day. So, and then see you all in next, I think next month, right? When we do the review of ACI 3, continued with ACI 4. Yay, ACI 4. Proof of future life, you know, it's kind of exciting. All right. I mean, all courses are exciting. Right? Okay, if nothing else, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
teacher.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
Bye.